Give me another 10 seconds, Tooser. Still hiding.
Huh. Now who's the cheater? Alright, 10 seconds, that's it.
Whoa!
10,
Whoa!
9,
Hey!
8, 7,
That was awesome.
6,
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
2,
Woo!
1.
Drat!
Ah, the child banner. A banner so promising, yet something seems off. Could this banner really be a bait? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're here to find out. Good day all, and today's word of the day is child. And before we get into any other juicy details, let's take a look at the man of the hour himself, Mr. Tartaglia, or Tart for short, because just like that favorite baked good of yours, he might seem delicious on the outside, but you ultimately shatter your teeth as you bite down. I blame the bakery. Now, what I actually mean by that is if you're looking to build a strong team for the Abyss, Child alone pales in comparison to most other damage dealers, such as Ganyu, Hu Tao, Eula, you name it, and requires at least a second character fully built to make him a solid option. That character happens to conveniently be missing from this banner, and her name is Xiang Ling. Yes, the Pyro Queen herself. To be fair, she's a 4-star, and most of you endgame players probably have her with multiple constellations. Since I've been both a free-to-play and a pay-to-win user, I'll be taking a look at both perspectives. And if Child could just be the next 5-star you pull, or well, try to pull, because there's always a chance you might actually be pulling a child instead. Look, I don't know what your pity counter is looking like, but I have cheat sheet Constellation 1. For most free-to-play users, Child will always be like a Swiss Army knife that can help with both melee fights and range, along with a ton of the overworld puzzles. This alone instantly bumps up his value as an early to mid-game player, but his overall damage actually carries over to the end game, and he can easily help you clear Abyss, granted you already have at the very least a Xiang Ling. Going off DPS alone, Child really doesn't need any constellations to make him good. He's just good straight off the bat, and you can even call him a free-to-play friendly 5-star. There's simply no need to wail on this character. He's not going to have an extra bump up in damage, and his constellations are more quality of life types. If you're looking for a 5-star that you don't need to heavily invest all your primo in, Child is definitely a good option. However, if you already have a stacked account, there are a few team comps you can run with Child that just completely take him out to the next level, and he will easily perform equally well, if not better, compared to our top 5-stars. Step aside Ganyu, Raiden, and Hu Tao, because the squad is here. When you pair Child with Kazuha, Bennett, and Xiang Ling, they just become unstoppable. This is a well-known setup and feels amazing to pull off. Kazuha buffs both Pyro and Hydro for the maximum amount of deeps. You all already know and love Benny Boy. He obviously provides an extra buff to attack, along with just being adorable.
I was just so excited to run into someone I admire so much.
My man's a legend. Nothing ever gets this guy down. And Xiang Ling does...
Boba, get them!
Xiang Ling things. Now if you don't have Kazuha, you could also replace him with another animo character, or a character that provides similar buffs, such as Sucrose, Venti, Mona, or go another route entirely, and throw in some Barbara. Now hear me out, most people won't have those animo characters built up or to a point where they can be useful, or have them at all, but everybody has Barbara, and the Hydro resistance when you don't have anything else to throw in your party is not something to ignore. As it currently stands, the Spiral Abyss is actually starting to reward teams that use a healer, and if you don't have good shields to begin with, like Noelle or Zhongli, the extra healing could be the answer, especially considering you have the Bennett ult to boot.
I'm going in!
But what about his skills and playstyle? Child's main skill and source of most of his DPS is called Raging Tide. He throws away his bow, switches to melee, and proceeds to completely eviscerate anything standing before him, but only for the next
Time's
30
ticking.
seconds. See, Child doesn't work overtime. He's a man of the clock. The slash attacks feel smooth and satisfying to use. The only difficult part of his playstyle is getting used to ending the skill yourself before the 30 seconds are up. If you fail to do that, the cooldown to switch between your bow and melee will be even longer, and that's honestly the only annoying thing about his kit. It can be improved slightly by 20%, but that's constantly Constellation 1, and in my opinion, it's not worth the Primo. I like to look at things from a brighter perspective, and just see it as getting to play 2 different playstyles. Twice the fun, you know? Sometimes you will actually need the ranged attacks anyways, and the fact that his bow, or cutting torrent, has a +1 to his skills already makes it even easier to level up. This +1, by the way, applies to your entire party, so everyone in your party will have a +1 to their basic attack. That's a pretty huge bonus and can be used as a support character for a lot of other main DPS. But on to my favorite part of his kit, the ultimate, Obliteration. It's a very fitting name, considering that to this day it's one of the best burst DMG ultimates. It's a heavy hitter and comes in 2 forms. While in ranged form, Childe will fire an arrow that does a ton of damage.
Now that's a lot of damage!
When used in melee form, it will be a huge slash instead, with even more damage.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Obliterating anyone unfortunate enough to be in his path. See what I did there? I mean, what's not to like? His burst ultimate can be used for flashy one-shots on bosses, clickbait for YouTube thumbnails, and more. The possibilities are endless. That all said, there are sadly only 2 real 4-star weapons that would actually make sense on Childe. The first one would be Rust for the melee damage, or Stringless for that sweet burst damage. The good news is that they can overperform at higher refinement levels when compared to Childe's best weapons like Skyward Harp, or even the new shiny bow. So far looking good, right? And here's where a lot of content creators will tell you that this banner, as of patch 2.2 at least, is in fact a trap, and that we have better ones coming out soon, like Hu Tao for example, another one of my favorite characters, and definitely better in terms of overall DPS. We also got spoilers for Ito coming out, and everybody's going crazy for that boy. Understandable, I'm guilty of that too. I need more wolf boys in my team. But putting that all aside, I'd honestly just look at it from this perspective. If you enjoy Childe as a character, his playstyle and how he feels overall, all this and more you could actually test in the trial they put out for him, then yeah, Genshin is after all a game. Don't feel like you're missing out if you pull a character you already enjoy. I personally love Childe's kit and overall aesthetic. As for those who only care about maxing out their damage, yeah, Childe is honestly a skip, unless you've already fully built the best team for him. Then I'd say he can actually rival a lot of amazing DPS characters.
You know, there are better ways to seek out our enemies than, well, standing here.
In conclusion, Childe is certainly capable of clearing Abyss when fully built, and doesn't struggle with the overworld content either. He's a wonderful free-to-play option, and won't take too many of your Primo Gems to have up and ready to go. He also has a neat little mask, I can respect that. The downside for him being is he can't do it alone. Childe relies on the power of friendship.
You are my friend, I don't hear you there.
To actually pop off and do some heavy damage. The other problem being is 2.2's banner's timing, and lack of characters that are needed to make him a solid choice. All this makes it a worse pull for people who don't have those needed characters. But I say if you like the orange-haired Naruto-looking boy, just go for it. Invest in the Childe, and the Childe will invest in you. Eventually. That's all. I wish you guys the best of luck in your pulls, and all future Genshin and non-Genshin related adventures. Also, remember to like this video for a 100% increase in your luck for your next roll. Definitely legit, not a scam. All jokes aside, this has been Raventric. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Just have a few shoutouts to do. Huge thanks to my patrons, Tobias Sander, Blaze, Mew, Ash NT, and all the rest of these lovely people on screen, as well as the description below. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like a friendly gaming community to join, where you can find people to play games with, from Genshin to Paladins to Honkai, you name it, then just check out the links in the description below. There you will find our Discord server and the rest of my socials. That's all for this one, and I hope to see you in the next video.